Let's talk about personas today. A persona is used in product development, design thinking and marketing to make a quick summary of your user's context, the motivations, their needs, and the ways they might use your products. And a persona is a fictional character that represents a group of users that might use your product in the same way. Having an idea of your personas helps you to focus on what matters most to your users and help put yourself in the shoes of your users when making decisions. And that's why it's super important to always test your assumptions and to see if you're correct about your assumptions when it comes to your persona. In this video, I will show you the steps you can take to get from a generic customer to specific personas so that you can improve your product and the marketing of your product, and in this way bring more value to your customers as a result. You will end up with a persona that's based on your assumptions, called a proto-persona. And in this way, you can start planning interviews with customers or potential customers to get to qualitative personas. Because remember, the customer is the one buying your product. So being able to see the world through their eyes will give you a clearer picture of how your product can bring value into their lives. So let's move to Miro again, our digital whiteboard, where I created an overview of the steps you can take to get from a rough idea about your customer to a specific persona, and also the next steps that you can take after that. And the first step is to create a simple customer journey. I've been talking about creating simple customer journey maps already in a previous video. I will link it down below in the video. But basically it comes down to this. Create an overview of the actors involved with your product on the left side, in this case the trainee and the decision maker. Create the goal on the right side, in this case that they follow the future-proof training program, and then decide on the steps in between. And to help with those steps, there are some labels above which you can use to generate ideas for those steps. And of course, this is a great start, but different trainees have different needs. So let's zoom in on the trainee and see if we can make it more specific. So let's move to step 2, to specify customer segments, and in this way, make the generic customer more specific already. I will show you a couple of examples so you can decide for yourself what customer segments work best for you. So a way to segment a trainee into different groups is to divide them by preference of working. The preference of working is a major part in the future-proof training program. So for me, it's important to know what the needs are for trainees. And in this way, I will also provide them with different guidance on how to approach this. For people who want to work fully at the office, there is benefit in the program, but it's not designed for them. And then for hybrid and remote workers, it is. So this could be a way to segment the trainees. So I will show the second one in a bit because I want to first move to the third one. And this is another way that we could segment the trainees is by household, because I know that this is an important thing also. If people live by themselves, then most probably they have different needs when it comes to social interactions when they are working remote. And having a partner or family in the house gives completely different challenges, for example, on aligning who's going to work where. So that's a way to segment. And then the third example is to do by team type and function. In this case, the training can be followed by different types of teams. For example, product development teams or marketing teams. And within the team, you have different functions or different roles. And if we zoom in on the marketing team, they can see that there are a number of different functions. And different functions means different activities. And based on those activities, they also might have different needs. Some activities they really need to do real time with a colleague, and some activities are something you do by yourself or something you can do asynchronously. So having a clearer understanding of what kind of people are in the team and what kind of activities they have, it becomes easier to give guidance in that area. Also for every function, you can maybe even make it more specific. So people who are just starting out on a job, a trainee or junior, and then the more experienced people, they probably have different tasks and activities. So these are 3 ways how you could segment your customers for this example. And of course, it's different for every industry. So that's something you have to figure out for yourself. What would be a nice way to segment your customers? But what you will notice when doing this exercise is that segmenting your customer already forces you to think about the different needs there are for your customer. So that's another step in the right direction. And then let's move to step 3, where we're going to write down the assumptions about your persona. There are multiple ways to do this. There's no right or wrong. I will show you 3 of my favorite ways. But the main idea here is to get a clear understanding of the context, the motivation, the needs and the goals of your users. So let's have a look at the first one, the value proposition canvas. And the value proposition canvas helps you to specify your customer segment even more. What are the gains, the pains, and the customer jobs for that segment? I would recommend to start on the right side of this canvas, because then it helps you to really think through what your customer is thinking. And the left part of the canvas is already solution mode, so I would recommend to do that later. But if you get a better understanding of your persona, in this case she's female, iOS developer, has 2 kids, is a millennial, then you can also see better where the gains are for this persona, where she's struggling maybe a little bit with the pains, and also what she wants to achieve. So these 3 areas, the gains, the pains, and the customer jobs, they force you to think through even more what the benefits will be of your product for this specific persona. And once you've done this for one persona, you can decide to focus fully on that persona, or then you focus on the next persona and you create multiple personas. And try to give your persona some identity by choosing an avatar and also a name for the persona. You can find the avatars over here. If you click the dots in Miro and click Icon Finder, then you can type in avatar. And in this case, I chose this one. But of course, there are many more to use. And another favorite approach of defining a persona is by making use of the persona canvas from Design a Better Business. So it's pretty clear that this persona canvas is more specific than the previous one, which will maybe help you to come up with other ideas, which you maybe didn't think of with the other canvas. But usually what you see is that there's a lot of overlap. So the things that I wrote down here, they are similar to the pains in the previous canvas. The things on the right side are the gains, and then the need or the customer job could be seen in the middle. So this is also a really nice way to visualize your persona and to make it more tangible. And then the last one, this is actually from a workshop template that's in Miro. You can find it over here. If you click the icon over here on the left, search for persona. Then you can find the personas workshop over here. And this workshop helps you in a couple of steps to reach to this part, which I copied over here, where you can generate an overview of your persona again. So this is also a really nice way. So there you have it. 3 ways to get from really generic users to specific personas. And the personas help you to get more idea about the context, the motivations, and the needs of your users. Now remember that these are just product personas. So these are personas based on assumptions. And your next step is to validate those assumptions. And that's step 4, talking with customers. I will talk about that more in a future video, but a great book recommendation I can give you now already is The Mom Test, which is a great book if you want to learn more about doing customer interviews. And the steps from getting your idea to talking with customers to an actual product, that is also something that we talk about in the Startup Crash Course. The Startup Crash Course is a 7-day email course that helps you to explore ideas that you have and bring them into a state where you can actually talk about it with your customers and get from signal to learning. So if you want to get actionable advice about that, then I will leave a link down in the description where you can sign up. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.